Here's what you need to know about the JD Health IPO and how it impacts JD.com's stock and its investors. JD Health is an online health management platform and a spin-off of JD.com. JD Health's IPO date is set for December 8th, 2020, and will trade in the HK stock market at an upwards valuation of $28.5 billion. JD.com will retain a 68.73% ownership of the company, making its stake worth about $19.6 billion, which is about 15% of JD.com's current market cap. Why is JD.com spinning off JD Health? JD states that its healthcare business has grown to a sufficient size that justifies a separate listing on the HK Stock Exchange, and that current market conditions are more favorable to companies in the healthcare sector. JD.com considers that the spin-off is in the interests of JD and its shareholders for some of the following reasons. 1. The spin-off could better reflect the value of JD Health and increase its financial transparency through which investors would be able to appraise and assess JD Health's performance and potential separately from JD.com. 2. JD Health presents an opportunity to investors that want to directly invest in high-growth healthcare businesses rather than investing in JD.com, which is more diversified. 3. With JD Health as a separate listed entity, JD.com can focus on and deploy its funds towards the development of JD's business without needing to focus on JD Health's funding requirements. And 4. The value of JD Health is expected to increase through the spinoff, which will in turn benefit JD.com as one of its controlling shareholders. This brings us to the next question: what is JD Health's business model? JD Health is the largest online healthcare platform in China by 2019 revenue, and is also the largest online retail pharmacy with a market share of 29.8%. It operates two main businesses, its retail pharmacy and its online healthcare services. Let's start with JD Health's retail pharmacy. The retail pharmacy business operates through three models: direct sales, online marketplace, and omni-channel initiative. Under its direct sales model, it generates revenues from product sales, purchasing pharmaceutical and healthcare products from suppliers and selling them directly to users. Its direct sales business operates mainly through JD Pharmacy, which can be accessed through the websites and mobile apps that it operates. It also runs 23 offline pharmacies across 13 cities. In addition, it partners with JD.com to utilize its nationwide logistics network, which has over 230 warehouses for use as of June 30th, 2020. Its online marketplace allows chain and independent pharmacies, manufacturers, and suppliers to sell pharmaceutical and healthcare products through its platform. As of June 30th, 2020, there were over 9,000 third-party merchants on its online marketplace. Lastly, its omni-channel initiative is a location-based service for on-demand delivery of pharmaceutical products. Under the omni-channel initiative, offline pharmacies join the platform by providing JD with access to their inventories, and JD manages all steps of their online sales, including online listing on its platform and deliveries. As a result, JD manages the fulfillment process for the pharmacy, and as of June 30th, 2020, its omni-channel initiative covered more than 200 cities in China. JD Health's other main business is online healthcare services, which consist of online hospital services and consumer healthcare. Its online hospital services include online consultation and prescription renewal, family doctor services, and more. Its consumer healthcare service allows users to make appointments and pay for offline consumer healthcare services, such as general physical exams, dental services, and more. In the first half of 2020, JD had an average of about 90,000 daily online consultations, almost 6 times of that in the first half of 2019. In order to provide users with holistic healthcare services, it established its own online hospital, cooperated with offline hospitals, and built a medical team of 68,720 in-house and external doctors as of September 20th, 2020. JD Health's retail pharmacy business and online healthcare services are synergistically integrated to create a closed-loop business model, which allows JD Health to enhance its brand and better serve its users. Users buying its retail pharmacy products provide organic traffic for its online healthcare services, while users of its online healthcare services are potential buyers for its retail pharmacy sales. Next, we'll highlight some key financial numbers from JD Health. Starting with revenue, in the 6 months ended June 30th, 2020, revenue from JD Health's retail pharmacy business accounted for the majority of its total revenue. Sales of pharmaceutical and healthcare products accounted for 87.6% of total revenue, marketplace service revenue accounted for 6.8%, and digital marketing and other services revenue accounted for 5.6%. Its total revenue increased by 76% year over year to about $1.14 billion for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2020. The increase in total revenue was primarily due to the 76.2% increase in product revenue from sales of pharmaceutical and healthcare products to about $1 billion. This is in line with the continuous growth of its direct sales gross merchandise volume, which increased about 66% year over year to about $1.5 billion in the 6 months ended June 30th, 2020. Growth on both product revenue and gross merchandise volume was primarily driven by the increase in the number of annual active user accounts, which increased from 53.5 million to 72.5 million year over year, and additional purchases from existing user accounts, driven by increasing pharmaceutical and healthcare product sales, shift in user behaviors, and rising brand awareness. Service revenue from its online marketplace and digital marketing and other services increased by 73.9% to about $166 million for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2020, primarily due to increases in commission fees and platform usage fees. This stems from an increase in the sales volume and the number of third-party merchants on its online marketplace, which resulted in its online marketplace gross merchandise volume increasing 73% year over year to about $3.4 billion in the 6 months ended June 30th, 2020. Meanwhile, the increase in digital marketing service fees stemmed from an increase in the number of advertisers on its platform. JD Health's cost of revenue primarily consists of the cost of purchasing pharmaceutical and healthcare products that it sells directly through JD Pharmacy and the related inbound logistics charges and inventory write-downs. Cost of revenues increased by 79% year over year to about $1 billion. In terms of profit, JD Health had a gross profit of about $340 million for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2020, increasing 66% year over year, with a gross profit margin of 25.3%. Excluding the impact of fair value changes of convertible preferred shares and a few other non-recurring items, JD Health had a non-IFRS profit of about $57 million for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2020, a 46% increase year over year. In terms of liquidity, JD Health funds its cash requirements primarily from its operating cash flows and capital contribution from shareholders, in addition to financing through issuances of convertible preferred shares. JD Health had cash and cash equivalents of about $490 million as of June 30th, 2020. Finally, we'll discuss major opportunities and tailwinds for JD Health's future growth. To start, China has one of the largest healthcare industries in the world with increasing healthcare expenditures. China's total healthcare expenditure was the second highest globally in 2019 and is forecasted to reach $1.6 trillion by 2024 and $2.7 trillion by 2030, representing a compounded annual growth rate or CAGR of 10.3% from 2019 to 2024 and a CAGR of 8.8% from 2024 to 2030. The growth in China's healthcare expenditure stems from a couple of key factors. First, China's population is aging. China's population is expected to increase at a CAGR of 0.3% from 2019 to 2030, with the population size of people aged 65 and above expected to reach 309.3 million, or 21.5% of the total population in 2030, from 12.6% in 2019. China's demographic shift is expected to create significant demand for healthcare products and services. Along with economic growth and urbanization, China's disposable income per capita has also continued to expand. From 2015 to 2019, annual per capita disposable income increased at a CAGR of 8.8%. Healthcare consumption is expected to take up an increasingly larger portion in people's spending, estimated to reach 27.7% of the total per capita consumption expenditure by 2030. As health awareness continues to rise, per capita healthcare expenditure is expected to increase at a 9.9% CAGR from 2019 to 2024 and at a 8.5% CAGR from 2024 through 2030. Moving on to health and wellness, the market size of the health and wellness industry in China is expected to increase to $3.3 trillion in 2030 at a CAGR of 9.4%. The digital health and wellness market consists of online retail pharmacies, online consultations, online consumer healthcare, digital healthcare infrastructure, and more. Supported by solutions from logistics to digital insurance, digital health and wellness platforms are able to successfully serve each of the existing stakeholders in the traditional healthcare value chain. Currently, China's healthcare industry is still in the early phases of digitalization. In 2019, only 2.4% of China's pharmaceutical products were distributed throughout hospital online retail pharmacies. Similarly, in 2019, online consultations only accounted for 6% of total consultation volume in terms of outpatient visits in China. Moreover, the proportion of digitalization in China's health and wellness market represented only 3.3% of the total healthcare expenditure in China in 2019. China's digital health and wellness market is set to expand substantially, from $33 billion in 2019 to $173 billion by 2024 and $646 billion by 2030. The proportion of digitalization in China's health and wellness market is expected to increase rapidly from 3.3% in 2019 to 10.6% and 24% of China's total healthcare expenditures in 2024 and 2030 respectively. The rise of the Internet plus healthcare policy framework and technological transformation has also created a high-growth online retail pharmacy market in China. China's online retail pharmacy market has grown at a CAGR of 23.7% from 2015 to 2019 to reach $16 billion in 2019. The size of the online retail pharmacy market in China is expected to expand rapidly and reach $70 billion in 2024 and $184 billion in 2030 at a CAGR of 34.2% and 17.5% respectively. Finally, for the online consultation industry, the use of online consultations has been accelerated in 2020. Combined with a supportive policy environment that is expected to further standardize the services, online consultations will become more efficient and more reliable with better quality. As a result, China's online consultation market is expected to grow significantly at a CAGR of 77.4% between 2019 and 2024 to reach $24 billion from $1.4 billion in 2019 and reaching $62 billion in 2030, representing 68.5% of the total consultation volume in China. JD Health is set for high growth in the future, which will benefit JD.com shareholders. However, we'll have to see what happens moving forward. Subscribe to stay updated for new videos, leave a like, and comment down below what companies or stocks you would like to see next.